John's couldn't make it for her. She's over.
Good morning. Today is one of the days that is no greater than being the superintendent is a day like today. I'm very pleased today to open up the ceremonies with the Marianna Fabiano Playground dedication. Probably about a year ago, Jimmy Fabiano came in and we had a meeting in my office. We talked about his vision and the vision of his family and the vision of his family and friends in remembrance of his beautiful and innocent daughter, Marianna. And one of the things that he talked about was that he wanted to build a playground, but not just a regular playground, not just an ordinary playground, a playground where all children, and when I say all children, those who have disabilities, those who are disadvantaged physically, have a place where they can come and have fun. And today, this dream and vision has come true that is behind me. So we have a few folks here today that would like to share their thoughts on this great event. This was a huge community building project. People poured their hearts, they poured their money, they poured everything in, because when you think of Winthrop and you think of the quality of families, the Fabianos are right at the top of that list. And so people wanted to come out and help whatever way they could. So today, I'd like to have the Speaker of the House, Robert DeLeo, who may be the Speaker of the House, but he's our representative and he never forgets us here in Winthrop, and we just love him. But he'd like to say a few words on behalf of the Marianna Fabiano Playground dedication. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, John, for that kind introduction. And as John had mentioned, there's probably no finer a family in terms of giving back to the community than the Fabiano family. I can tell you, for years and years, they gave me those delicious donuts at the bakery, which added to my weight issue, all right? And Dolores, God bless her, for years with the special needs children. And of course, the Northeast Conference Coach of the Year for 25 straight years, Frankie Fabiano. But when you think about this park and how it was put together, and you think about the fact that, unfortunately, when someone dies, especially a young child such as this Marianna, at such a tender age, families can react in so many different ways. Some may go into a shell, some may do something else. But the thing about the Fabiano family is they took this very difficult, negative tragedy, if you will, and turned it into a positive, if you can believe that. A positive by making a playground which is accessible to everyone here in this community. Every young child is going to have the opportunity to use this playground because of them. So to Jim and Tanya, and it's more especially to those of you who helped put this together, as always, thank you. Thank you for what you do for this community. And every young child who uses this beautiful playground will know the name of Marianna Fabiano. Thank you, and God bless everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now I'd like to introduce our Town Council President, Mr. Peter Gill.
Thank you, John.
sorry, I have to read. Good morning to all. Senator Petroselli gave me a temporary promotion for about 35 seconds. He couldn't be with us today due to a previous commitment, but he asked me to extend his greetings to all. So now I'll step back down and I'll be council president again. As we gather together today to dedicate this beautiful facility in memory of little Marianna, I extend the greetings of the town council and the council's appreciation to all of you for your tremendous efforts to design, develop, and create this playground in memory of little Marianna. Some 5 years ago, Jimmy, Tanya, Frankie, and Tina welcomed the little angel Marianna into the world as the 5th member of their family. Jimmy and Tana devoted the next 3 years to Marianna's special care, providing for Marianna a home with her sisters for her all too short time with us here on earth. Now Marianna has returned home to heaven. Given the Fabianos' love and dedication to Marianna and to all kids with special needs, they had a dream that building a playground in memory of Marianna, a playground that would be accessible to all kids, regardless of their physical challenges. Through their determination and the generosity of Winthrop citizens, they raised over $70,000 to purchase equipment for Marianna's playground. With the momentum building, a true community effort, labor and materials were donated by citizens and DPW employees to make Marianna's playground a reality. Yes, I broke the mic. As a result of this true team effort, we stand here today in this beautiful facility, a playground accessible to all. This morning, our little angel Marianna was looking down on us saying, "Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Mom. Thanks to all the people of Winthrop for building a playground so that all the kids will have a place to play in our hometown." Marianna goes on to say, "Have fun in my playground, kids." Thanks to Jim, Tanya, and all the citizens of our community for your tremendous enthusiasm and team efforts to make the Marianna Fabiano dream, Marianna Fabiano Playground, a dream come true. God bless you, you little angel.
Thank you, President Gill. This time, on behalf of the school committee, I'd like to introduce Gary Skomro, the chairman of the Winthrop School Committee.
On behalf of the school committee, I want to thank Jimmy, the Fabiano family. Tanya, I've played soccer against you. She's good. So that all children of all abilities can be included and have fun at this playground. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Skomro. I'd like to also recognize up here at the podium that we do have a member of the school committee, Ms. Sharkey, who's here with us today. Thank you, Ms. Sharkey. You know, when this all came together, too, the town council, the school committee, they worked with Mr. Fabiano to make sure that it wasn't just all the community that put monies together as well. It was a whole, you know, the school committee assisted, the town council took monies out of special funds to make sure that this assisted as well. And so we really appreciate when our elected officials come together to make sure that these things can happen. Our next speaker is the speaker who is going to actually enjoy this playground daily. And on representing the William P. Gorman Fort Bank School, our principal, Miss Eileen Pearson.
Thank you, and thank you to the community, and most particularly to the Fabiano family. I am completely overwhelmed and honored that you would choose our school as a place to have Marianna's playground. It's typical of the Fabiano family. Instead of making us go somewhere for something, they bring something to us. The thoughtfulness and the dedication of the playground is so meaningful. It has only been my blessing to be able to enjoy watching the children play on it every single day. I didn't know Marianna, but I certainly know Frankie really well. and I know Katerina just as well. And so through them, I feel as if I kind of know Marianna a little bit. The idea that her influence can also extend to all of the students in our school is truly tremendous. Thank you for sharing her with us, with our community, and making her as meaningful to all of us as she was to you. Katerina and Frankie, I told you, she's always with you, and now she's always with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Pearson. When we talk about the community as well, there's an organization in this community called the Viking Pride Foundation. The Viking Pride met the challenges on this project as well. They worked together with Mr. Fabiano and the community to help raise funds. And here to express their thanks to Mr. Fabiano, Mr. Vinnie Crossman, the chairman of the Viking Pride Foundation.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure to be here this morning on behalf of the Viking Pride Foundation. As many of you may know, Jimmy is a member of our board, and we are extremely fortunate to have Jimmy. And thank you, Tanya, for allowing Jimmy to give all his time to us. When he has free time, he's always with us. But I wanted to take you back to a story about 3 or 4 years ago. I had the pleasure of meeting Mary Beth McMahon, who is the chairman of Special Olympics in Massachusetts. And Mary Beth said to me, Vinny, we're starting this new program, and it's called the Inclusion Revolution. And I said, well, you know, what is that, Mary Beth? And she said, well, we're trying to get regular ed students and students in schools to incorporate more with the special ed population. And we have all these great activities and all these great things. And I said, Mary Beth, I'm from Winthrop. And she said, oh, you're from Winthrop, huh? I said, yeah. And she said, there's some great things going on in Winthrop. I said, yeah, and you know what? We've had the inclusion revolution for the past 30 years. I said, when I was in high school, I was on the Saco River on a camping trip with special ed students. That guy right there. I said, have you ever heard of WrestleMania? She said, nope, I've never heard of WrestleMania. There's a 3-time world champion right there, sitting right next to me. So it makes me proud to be from Winthrop, and I talk about it all the time. This isn't anything new for Winthrop. This is something that has been going on for many, many years, and it's been going on in particularly because of one family, and that is the Fabiano family. And the Fabiano family have been leaders in this community for students with disabilities for many, many years. And it's funny, when we built the new high school, and we looked at the old high school and how poorly accessible it was, I realized that there was a segment of our population that we weren't taking care of the right way. And that's folks that may be in wheelchairs or may be confined and have other physical disabilities. So it's just fortunate that we have people like Jimmy and the Fabiano family who have this great vision to give us such a beautiful playground so all children can be included, and we can continue this inclusion revolution in Winthrop for many years to come. Thank you, Fabianos.
Thank you, Mr. Crossman. Our next speaker, to give his thanks, I just want you to understand that these folks helped build this playground. The DPW, I want to give special thanks to the DPW for the great work that they did here. And on behalf of the DPW, Mr. Steve Calla.
Good morning, everybody. Each morning, I huddle around coffee and Red Bulls with my assistant, Aaron Armistead, and we try to determine the best way to fulfill the obligations of the town, deploy the resources in the best way we can. The focus is work, important work, but it's work. And then an opportunity, a project like this comes along, and it reminds us why we got into public works in the first place. Being able to contribute to such an important cause, it not only unites an organization, our organization is the Department of Public Works, and brings everybody together, but it allows us to contribute to the community. When Jimmy came to me and asked me to contribute and told me his plan about this playground, I was taken back. I was honored that he believed in us and that we could do what his vision was for the community. The time frame was tight. the money was tight as it always is, and there were a lot of variables that had to come into play to be able to provide what we did in such a short amount of time. Although we have a great team behind us at the DPW, I can really only contribute that to one thing, that there was an angel looking down at the whole process. And it was touching to see, it was amazing to see how much that angel impacted this community and made it all happen. So on behalf of the Department of Public Works, I want to thank you and your wife, Tanya, for giving us the opportunity to build something and to provide a gift from you to the entire community, which is going to be enjoyed by so many children for so many years to come. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Calla. Next, I would like to introduce Linda Broussard, our Parks Committee Chairperson.
Good morning. I also need to read like Peter Yell did. Working with the Fabiano family on this all-inclusive playground project was truly an honor for the Parks Committee. The Parks Committee members, both past and present, feel fortunate and privileged to have been asked for assistance. The Fabiano family has, once again, put themselves and their needs aside to do for others and to assure that every child, regardless of physical or other challenges, have the opportunity to play in a playground that is safe, accessible, and fun. With the completion of this playground, that dream has come to life. In addition, if parents or others have physical challenges of their own, they too can use the playground equipment with their children. The completion of this playground breaks down numerous barriers and will allow everyone who comes here to enjoy countless days of forming bonds that will last a lifetime. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Beautiful words. So before we get to the big event, I just want to take a moment to recognize some folks that are here too, that are very excited and part of this program and project. As you see, we have our counselor from Precinct 6, Linda Calla, up here. Thank you, Linda. From the school committee, we have Brian Perrin, who's over on the side, vice chair. We have newly elected school committee people that are here, Laura Callis, Tino Capobianco, and Ron Vecchia. Thank you, folks, for coming. We have Nora Grimes, the assistant principal of the William P. Gorman School, and Julie Fortiatis, the CET. And to my far right, we have Kristen Bonapani and Jillian Texera, who are co-presidents of the PTO, who also, when this is over, have a beautiful reception for us in the cafeteria. So please come in and join us for some snacks. And as always, our fire chief and police chief are always here for us. Thank you, folks, for being here. So at this time, I would like to introduce the Director of Parks and Rec, who's going to make a special introduction, Mr. Sean Driscoll, who is going to introduce a special family member.
Good morning. I'd like to say a couple quick words before I introduce the next speaker. One being, this is a great community project that was done in a quick turnaround, probably one of the quickest turnarounds ever that I've seen in my 17 years being involved in working at the town. I will tell you, it was a special honor to try to help out with the Parks Committee and my staff with Jimmy, because if anyone knows anything about me, I kind of grew up with the Fabianos as a whole, with Joe, Jimmy, Frankie, Debbie, and yeah, we did have some great pool parties, Mrs. Fab. There's no doubt about that, which trouble sometimes, but it was all fun. And Frankie, when he was just a little boy, it was always a joy to see him. And what I get on to Frankie is the fact that every day, for the most part, from the summer to the fall, a little bit in the winter and back in the spring and the summer, I get to spend a lot of time with one of the greatest people, not only in the town, but probably in the world, that regardless how bad your day is going, and he walks into the office as a smile that makes you, you know, forget the things that aren't going right in the world. And he's probably one of the most loyalist people around that you'd ever want as a friend, an assistant head coach, assistant director of recreation. Am I leaving anything out, buddy? All right. He's a great man, and he makes he makes my life a lot better. We spend a lot of time together, just like I do with his brother and his families anytime we get a chance. And with Jimmy, when Jimmy first came to me with this idea, it was let's go. And you know, there was no obstacles. Everyone knew what the goal was and trying to get it done, and Frankie was a big part of it. So let me bring Frankie up to give his speech and announce his brother Jimmy.
I want to say, John Michelle, thank you for this whole thing for us, and council did a great job for my brother Jimmy, and everybody here. You know, when you come up, I love you.
I have a long list of thank yous, so just bear with me. Let me start off with a thank you first. First to the school committee, Superintendent Macero, Mrs. Pearson. Thank you for allowing us to put this park here at the Gorman Fort Bank School. The PTO at the Fort Banks, thank you for all your help as well. To Parks and Recs, Sean, Tony, and Jill, everything I asked for, you were there, and you helped me out and made sure we got this done correctly. Thank you. We went to the Parks Committee. Every meeting we went to, whatever I asked for, once again, they couldn't do enough for me. The DPW, Steve Caller and his crew, the 2 hottest days in July, they put this park together. Literally 95 degrees and humid. They did it without one complaint. So thank you, Steve, and thank you guys for us. Everybody up at Town Hall, the finance department, any of the employees, every time I walked in there, they did everything I asked. So thank you. The town manager, Mr. McKenna, for allocating a large chunk of money for this soft surface. Without that, this project wouldn't have happened. So thank you. To the town council, especially the council president, Peter Gill, and his leadership in this project, and all the projects in town over the last 4 years have been amazing. Peter, thank you for all your work. Richie Currier and Maria Currier are another couple people I want to say thank you for. They don't live the easiest life. But they fight hard for things that we take for granted on a daily basis. And when I started this project and I started talking to them, they couldn't help me enough. So when you see individuals like Maria and Richie, thank them for what they do. To the people that donated, Massport, Viking Pride, Micah Rizzione's Winthrop Charities, Commission on Disabilities, the senior class of 2015, all gave large donations to help this project get completed. My brother Joe, who brought in a lot of donations from outside the community and gave up his Super Bowl tickets for last year to make sure that this project got done. So thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. And to all our family and friends that just continually donated, I felt like a bank. Every time I turned around, someone was giving me $100. It was just amazing. And without all those small donations and everyone contributing, this project would never be completed. Now to my speech, and I promised my daughter I wouldn't cry, but we'll see what happens. She'll be upset with me if I cry. Marianna was a very special child, and this is a very special playground. We are very proud that the first inclusive playground in Winthrop will be named after our daughter Marianna. What is an inclusive playground? Inclusive is another word for equality. The equal opportunity to play, no matter what your abilities are. When we started this project, we realized that the Gorman Fort Bank School was the perfect place for this type of playground. Imagine going to recess at school and not being able to play with your other classmates because you didn't have the strength or the ability to climb. This playground will keep that from happening. Whether the child is blind, autistic, has Down syndrome, or is in a wheelchair, they'll be able to play with the other students and their classmates. And hopefully it will teach the other children the importance of inclusion, not just in the playground, but in life. I learned about the importance of inclusion over 30 years ago, when I watched my parents fight for my brother Frankie's inclusion in the Winthrop school system. And that inclusion in the school district made Frankie what he is today. To the point that Frankie is the only person that Speaker DeLeo fears running against him. We need to do whatever we can for these special kids in our school district. Let them build friendships within their own communities so that they will always feel like they are part of Winthrop, just like Frankie does. School committee members, Superintendent Macero, Town Council, please fight for these kids. Find new innovative ways to teach these special kids so that their parents feel comfortable keeping them in our district. When they stay in the Winthrop school system, everybody wins. The student wins, the parents win, the teachers win, and Winthrop wins. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to bring up the Fabiano family to cut the ribbon. Okay, ready? On the count of three, everybody. We'll count to three, everybody. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We'd like to welcome you all into the cafeteria and enjoy a nice reception with the Fabiano family. Thank you very much.